Quint Tatro is with us, Managing Director at Joule Financial. Good to see you, Quint Tatro. Look, we have a market now for September. It's notorious that September is a tough month. You have tech stocks at 3-week lows. Some of your thoughts, are there opportunities in all this?
I don't think there's opportunity yet, Nicole, but I think it's coming. I think that just as you alluded to, the tech sell-off, in our opinion, probably has just begun. I think it gets a little bit more scary before the real opportunities come. And it is notorious for this time of year. And there's a lot of headwinds. There's a lot of uncertainty. And I just think after a very strong run-up that we've had, it's okay for profit taking to ensue. And it's okay to see some volatility here. And I think what will ultimately happen, as you alluded to at the top of the show, is that it will present opportunities. So I think as investors are prepared, and if they do have some capital on the sidelines, if they've taken some opportunity to maybe book some gains into the run up, there's going to be some opportunities that present themselves.
So that's the strategy. I mean, how do you sort of dissect the market and say this might be an opportunity or this is not?
Well, I think it comes down to valuation. And what's, very fortunate for us is we keep coming back to you. And it seems like we always visit with you at interesting times. And when we were with you just a few weeks ago on the floor of the exchange, and we were basically saying, look, we felt, tech had run its course, at least the Magnificent Seven. We felt like you were getting an unbelievable opportunity to take some profits here and then just basically wait. Or if you wanted to get ahead, you could rotate into some more stodgy areas. But we're big on valuation. And not just valuation like what's cheap, but what could be growing and trading at a reasonable price. So the names that we look at, they aren't just names that, they're beaten down and therefore they have a low multiple or something like that. There has to be some sort of catalyst for growth and sort of upside value that we see developing over time. And that's really the list that we're developing, are names that not only are attractively valued, but I think have very strong growth prospects in the future.
Yeah, understood. So let's talk about on holdings, First Solar and ServiceNow. Those are your stock picks.
Yeah, those are our top three. And I kind of looked across a variety of sectors, and on holdings we've talked to you about before. It's moved 25, 30% since we last saw you, but we still think this is a stock that or a company that continues to take market share. I think they're going to put up numbers from back to school shopping that are going to just be off the charts. I know one of my sons had to have a pair. That's always a good indication. But this is a company that if they hit their expectations, earnings will grow this year 140%. You might get dissuaded by the 40 multiple on the current earnings, but we think that the growth in the market share that this company is taking is outstanding. So this is a name that is really a growth at a reasonable price, and we like it here. We certainly like it when it pulls back even more, but we still like it at these levels. The next one, which is a little bit interesting, is First Solar. This is a cheap stock that is growing, and it's really got the headwinds of political uncertainty. Solar stocks have been under fire. Obviously, there's some real challenging business models, but this is one that is not challenging. They're doing exceptionally well. They got a Teflon balance sheet, almost no debt. They're trading at a 10 multiple on forward earnings, and those earnings projections are set to grow at 75% this year, and Nicole, 55% next year. So even if they don't hit those numbers, this is a cheap stock. And again, it's down. It's selling off of the 52-week highs because of the political headwinds and the uncertainty, and that's perfectly fine. But in our opinion, nothing stops this company. And when it does sell off, there's really opportunities to pick up shares. The next name is one that we could see as potential new leadership in sort of the big cap tech space, and we're looking for that second level of AI. So the first phase is Nvidia selling all the chips, everybody buying chips, implementing, the chips. And now it's, what are they going to do with that? ServiceNow is positioned exceptionally well. And if I love to go to their website, bringing AI to business. So if you are a business and looking to implement AI, you call up ServiceNow. It's very simple. They have a very simplistic business model. Now, you're going to be lot of value people will be scared by the numbers. Stock's trading 50 times forward with only 27% growth, but we view those estimates as exceptionally low. And as businesses are looking to implement AI in the future, we see this company positioned exceptionally well. We would not at all be surprised to see those estimates go up and those earnings go up over time for making this stock look cheap in the rear view mirror. This is the one that we look for new leadership into the future. And I think we're going to be talking about a lot over the coming years.
Yeah, and you mentioned how we did talk about Nvidia and some of those names last time too. What do you say about Nvidia today when it's under $110?
It's not for me. I mean, it wasn't for me at 130. It wasn't for me the last time it dipped 100. And even, I mean, if you want to try to violently catch the bottom on that 40% swing a few weeks ago, that's fine. I'm a long-term investor. I'm not going to try to trade this name, but it's not cheap. I mean, and I think ultimately what we're seeing is the character of the move after last earnings, and it was spot on. They hit the numbers, they raised guidance, but it wasn't enough, and the stock sold off on that. And the reality is that it is now trading at levels that have to have that continued upside growth and momentum and accelerated growth, and I just don't see it. I think that cycle is starting to phase out. There'll be new competition in the game, but now we're looking at those companies, the software plays, et cetera, that are going to be implementing AI to pick up the slack. So it is not for me. I think it'll be a battleground in here, people trying to pick lows and trade it. It's not for me at these levels.
Okay. Quint Tatro, great to see you at Joule Financial. Thank you for joining us on the show today. Appreciate it. Quint, thanks.
Thank you, Nicole.